Welcome back. Former President Donald Trump is set to be arraigned today at 2:15 Eastern Time in New York City.
All right, and we're going to take you live to one of the many locations with a lot of activity today, Trump Tower.
And that's where we find our own Christina Thompson. Christina, what's the scene like right now outside of Trump Tower?
Well, a lot of people very busy. We're still waiting for Trump to head out of Trump Tower and head down to the courthouse. But I know that we watched Alvin Bragg arrive there live about 20 minutes ago, though. So things are starting to get started here today. I know that Donald Trump, he's planning to right now meet with some of his advisors. He's meeting with his team to figure out how this day should go down. Then they're planning to head down to that courthouse for his arraignment starting at 2:15. It should take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. But security is extremely ramped up. I've been watching the live picture down at the courthouse. I know they're planning to completely clear it out. Once they bring people back in, they will be scanned twice just to ensure the former president's safety. Now, we do know that he is charged with at least 34 charges. What exactly those charges are, we don't know because those documents are sealed. We're waiting to see if a judge will unseal them. We're also waiting to see if the judge will slap a gag order on the former president. If he does, we know that Trump is planning to speak from Mar-a-Lago later tonight. And it'll really significantly cut down on what the former president is able to say to the American public. Again, all of this just waiting for Trump to surrender, for him to go to the courthouse at 2:15 and be arraigned.
All right. Thanks so much, Christina. Let's keep this conversation going. Joining us now for the latest from an insider's perspective is RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel.
Chairwoman McDaniel, do we have her? All right, there she is. There she is. All right, Chairwoman McDaniel, thank you so much for being here. In some respects, the Democrats have kind of played this really brilliantly to some degree because everybody is talking about Trump again. They're not talking about the GOP's energy bill. They're not talking about the Parents' Bill of Rights. They're not even talking about Joe Biden anymore. How is the party going to get its message to break through this circus, especially since there could be potentially other legal issues facing the former president on the horizon?
Well, I think they've energized the Republican base because we know right now that the greatest crime in Biden's America is to be a Republican. And we saw it with parents going to school board meetings being labeled domestic terrorists, now to the former president being indicted on trumped-up charges that we know wouldn't have been brought against any Democrat, that they are politically motivated and they don't pass the smell test. So I think Republicans recognize Democrats will use the levers of power against every Republican at any level, and we have to win back the Senate. We've got to win back the White House. We've got to keep the House, and the only way we can do that is by getting out and volunteering and voting and getting ready for 2024.
A lot's been made about the leaks coming out of the DA's office. There are reports now that Trump is facing 34 felony charges. What would happen if they can prove that? Could there possibly be legal ramifications for this? And how do you prove it, that it's coming from the DA's office?
Yeah, I think it's crazy that things are being leaked, and it just shows the circus around Bragg, right? Crime is up 22%. Violent crime is up 22% in New York. And they have actually gone out of their way. They've shut down the streets today. They've taken all the cops off the streets because of a misdemeanor charge that wouldn't even bring jail time if the president were convicted. It's just ridiculous. And it's wrong for the people of New York. And it shows what the Democrat priorities are. It's not about let's get rapists off the street, let's get murderers off the street. It's how do we go after Republicans? How do we change the law and manipulate the law to go after Republicans? It's wrong, and every American Republican and Democrat should be disgusted by this.
Yeah, I mean, when he ran, he said he was on video saying that, he wanted to get President Trump. Trump's going to speak tonight from Mar-a-Lago at 8:15 Eastern, and of course, Newsmax will have live coverage of that. We don't know whether or not the judge is going to impose this gag order. If he does, how do you think former President Trump shifts his message? Because he can't talk about what's happening right now in this case, if that happens.
Yeah, I think the president will have a lot to say. Either way, I don't know what the gag order would entail. But I think there's a lot that Republicans are worried about right now. And I see this and I hear this. They're saying, I can't believe they're doing this to President Trump. But what are they doing to average everyday Republicans, right? Like these school board or these parents going to school board meetings, or a member who just testified on the Hill who has the IRS knocking on his door, a Republican. These are the types of things that are really frightening right now. And Democrats will use power to persecute you for being a Republican. If it's not just cancel culture now, it's now using the legal levers to go after you for being a Republican, and that's really frightening. And if they can do it to Donald Trump, they can do it to anybody.
Chairwoman, so just so that we're clear, it seems like your principal message coming out of all of this is that this isn't really about the indictment, and it's not about Alvin Bragg, but it is a larger Democratic Party strategy related to 2024 and kind of remaking the country that we all live in.
Yeah, I think the Democrats are going to punish you if you're a Republican. And we're seeing this with these DAs, these Soros-backed DAs, these woke DAs. Instead of doing the job they were elected to do, keep crime off the street, keep their cities safe, they're saying, how do we use our position and our power to leverage against Republicans? And it's Donald Trump, but it's also, like I said, average Republicans, hardworking Republicans. And why do they want to do that? Because they want to dissuade Republicans from getting involved or putting their name out there. It's just like cancel culture, but it's being used in a legal way. And I think it's really frightening, and it needs to be denounced. And we need to call it out. And I would say to Republicans, get involved. You have a text behind me, Justice 80810.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get involved. Go be poll watchers. Go be poll workers. Volunteer. We are energized right now. This is going to backfire on the Democrats as long as we get engaged and united and go and win in 2024.
Okay.
We'll have to leave it right there. Thank you so much, Ronna McDaniel. We appreciate